Okay, y'all, welcome to the first official Whip It Out Wednesday. Right here at the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. Fascinating stuff. Listen, this is my thing. I like to reach out to the hood. Yeah, and all this bling right here, yeah, it's a comedy act, okay? It really is. Because I don't encourage people to really buy this type of bling in these quantities. If you look at Jay-Z now, or Master P now, or even 50 Cent now, they don't go around wearing this stuff after they reached a certain level. Think about it. Think about it. So we've got two portfolios that we're going to be monitoring now. We got AJ's. Y'all know about AJ. And now we got CJ. CJ is more aggressive than AJ, but we're going to be keeping an eye on CJ. CJ has been at it now for about 11, maybe 11 and a half weeks. We're going to check it out. Matter of fact, we're going to check it out in a hot second. First, let's find out what's going on. Let's find out what's going on. Ooh, man. Let's find out what's going on with AJ's portfolio first. Let's check it out. Yeah. You didn't think I'd forget these, huh? Here we go. Let's check it out. So, for starters, let's go to the positions. And in the position, what we got going on is we've got, what is this? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different corporations, right? Why do we have 6 different corporations? Because we want to be diversified. What's diversification? Well, it's not putting all your eggs in one basket, and that's super important. Because if anything happens to one, I'm not going to lose all my money. So, think of it as an elevator with 6 different cables. No. An elevator with 6 different cables. I'm up at the 40th floor. One of the cables snaps, meaning one of the corporations goes under. And what's going to happen? Well, I'm being held up by 5 more, so I'm good. Now, if I had all my money in just one corporation, like Tesla, for example, woo! Listen, not that Tesla's there right now, but listen, Tesla's got problems. But if I had all my money in just one corporation, and that one corporation goes under, or that one elevator cable snaps, guess what? It's a wrap. No more Whip It Out Wednesday. No more Richard Burns. No more Solomon Project. Unless one of my kids picks it up. All right, so here we have our 6. And as you can see, right, top right, it tells you the total value of the account, which is $1,824.52. We're down by the day. At the time that I took the screenshot, we're down today by less than 0.5%, which represents $7.80. All right, no problem, all good. But now let's go to the gains and loss tabs. Now, the reason I go to the gains and loss tabs is whenever that money comes in, which is transferred in every Friday, whenever that money comes in, I gotta pick and choose for the particular strategy that I'm using. I pick and choose which company I'm gonna buy more shares of. Well, I just circled on the bottom the one I plan on buying more shares of. Why did I pick the one on the bottom? Because it's the one that is performing the worst, right? Now, it's performing the worst, but it doesn't mean I'm interested in getting rid of that. I'm not interested in getting rid of that stock. I want to keep that stock. It's a good company. So I want to keep it, but I want to keep buying more of those shares because that's the one that's under the most. So I'm going to take it, and you can see right there it's $20.60. So $20.60 is the average price that I paid for it. Now, let's go back to the positions real quick, because that same stock is $15.90 right now. So yeah, I'm going to purchase more. This right here is the most important part of this whole thing. The reason is because all the shares that I'm buying are all dividend paying stocks. In other words, they're providing income. So AJ's getting him some income. And if you remember last week, I think it was last week, it was at 112. Now it's at 113.41. Next week, it'll be higher. Every week, it'll be going higher and higher. Why? Because we're buying more dividend-paying shares, so the income is going to continue to increase. Now, what we do with the income, with those dividends, when they come in, when they pay up, we can take those dividends along with the money that we transferred in, and what we do is we go ahead and purchase more shares. It could be the one on the bottom, it could be one on the top. It all depends on which one is performing the worst. That's how we're attacking this. It's a little different from CJ's. Let's take a look at CJ's now. So what CJ got going on is, I don't know what CJ got going on. What does CJ have going on? I gotta locate CJ stuff. Go figure. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to chat with you while I download CJ stuff. Because I didn't download it. Go figure. What's that all about? Why am I getting a warning on that? Here we go. Yeah, here it is. I didn't download it. Alright, I'll download it now. No worries. But after downloading it, okay, so now here we go. So remember, I said it was about 11 and a half weeks. So right now, CJ's account is at $1,151.32. It went up today by $4.07, but since we opened the account, it's up $34.89, and year to date, it's $40.05. Now, why that sounds weird, right? The year to date is higher than when I first opened it. Yeah, sure, of course, because year to date starts in January. Okay, I opened it before January, so year to date is going to reflect what's been going on since the year. But that's what it is. CJ, he's more aggressive, so he's at $1,151.32. We're going to be monitoring, we're going to be checking on that, and we're going to make sure that, or we're going to compare to see what's going on with CJ. Now, CJ, with that particular type of account that CJ has, he can do things that, CJ can do things that AJ can't do yet. For AJ to do what CJ can do in that account, AJ's going to have to bring his account up to $2,000. Once he crosses that $2,000 amount, he can use strategies that CJ can already use. And the only reason why CJ can already use it is because when that account was open for CJ, there were permissions granted to CJ because of his knowledge and history of trading in the stock market. All right, so let me creep over here and give you a little something that's going on, because this stuff is really important. And like I said, don't attach yourself to personalities. Don't attach yourself to companies. Don't fall in love with companies. Don't get attached to companies. Don't fall in love with any of that stuff. It's no good for you. You'll lose out completely. Let's see if this is the one. Yeah, look at this. Okay, some of Tesla's institutional shareholders are getting out. That's not a good report. That's not a good report. Listen, if you want to know if the corporation that you're investing in is worth investing, that's one of the signs. When you've got institutional investors hopping in and purchasing shares of the same stock that you're interested in, then that's a sign that you may have, oh, look at this, the company shares are down nearly 30% this year. Wow. Wiping out some $600 billion in market value. Listen, it's bad news. It's bad news. It's bad news. If you want, you can pause it and read it, but it's bad news. Okay, Here's some more bad news for you. This is from June 4th, so it's been a couple of days back, but nothing's changed, nothing's improved. In fact, things are getting worse. Now I just found out that that SpaceX, now he's got competition for SpaceX from Boeing. He's getting competition left and right. Look, this one's about competition too. Sales of Tesla's China-made electric vehicles dropped 6.6% from a year earlier to 72,573 units in May, extending a year-on-year decline for a second month. That company that he was laughing at, that company that he thought was not going to be able to compete with Tesla, is not just competing with Tesla, but it's beating him slightly, ever so slightly. And BYD, the Chinese company that's creating all these electric vehicles, are, and not just that one, but there are like 3 other electric vehicle manufacturers in China, and they're cranking out these cars for such a cheap price that Elon has no choice but to lower the prices. You lower the prices on those Teslas and you're lowering the revenue. But these Chinese companies aren't hurt by that because it's the Chinese government that's pumping money into these corporations. Unlike here in the United States, it's sink or swim. It's sink or swim. Yeah, the government does gives you tax breaks and sometimes even gives you some money, but only up to a certain amount. Nothing like what China's doing with these other corporations. So there's rumors also that Elon wants to take X, formerly known as Twitter, and now I guess he's accepting pornography or something like that. Listen, advertisers are not gonna want to advertise on that platform, so he's gonna lose even more revenue. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I'm gonna check next month to see where Elon ranks as far as billionaires are concerned, because it's not looking good, man. I showed you. He was in first place maybe 2 months ago. He's in third place now, or the last time I reported he was in third place. I don't know where he is now, and I'm almost sure that he's going to continue declining. It's not good. It's not good. The guy's just, he's been a good salesman. That's about it. Well, let's see what happens. Was there anything else from the reports or anything like that? Let me see, real quick. Trying to keep this brief. Trying to keep it brief, y'all. Okay, so look, a little bit of history, my own, right? So when I started in the stock market, which was 1996, I'm gonna show you right here. So this is what you needed to get into the stock market back in 1996. You needed a deposit of $10,000. In 1996, $10,000 in today's value is $19,983.94. I didn't have that kind of money back then. Okay, $19,983 is the equivalent of that. So what happened? So I heard of something on an infomercial. They were talking about direct purchasing plan, dividend reinvestment plan, and that was my gateway into it. All I needed to buy was 1 share. It's a pretty crazy story, and I'll tell you another time. And not only that, back then, when you wanted to buy or sell either one, it can cost you up to $100 for that one transaction. So you can buy a stock and it'll cost you $100 maybe to purchase those shares, and the same day you felt like selling it, well, it might cost you another $100 to sell it the same day. So that's $200 out of your pocket, and if you didn't make a decent enough profit, well, then you'd be losing. So $100 back in 1996 in today's money is almost $200 per trade. Thankfully, it's not even like that. It's not even like that. You're not even paying, and in most platforms now, you don't even pay to trade. And yeah, I got deep in. I learned everything there is to know about trading, the technical analysis, fundamental analysis, analyzing news and information, all kinds of stuff. And I'm gonna show you here, I'm gonna show you an example of the type of this is the type of graph, the type of graph that I used to look at. I really don't do much technical analysis, but this was one graph that I used to use. This is called the Ichimoku cloud, and I know it looks kind of crazy, but yeah, there's some science to it. But I barely ever look at the graphs anymore. I'm more of a quantitative trailer. That's where I'm at right now. But anyway, there it is, y'all. I mean, I can get into more details some other time, but for now, we're gonna leave it at that. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting that like button. I really appreciate that. Everybody appreciates that. CJ appreciates it. AJ appreciates it. And we're going to keep an eye on those two. We're going to compare those two and see where they go. And let me see what else we got going on, just in case. I want to make sure that I cover as much as I can right now because of the wonderful things he does. Well, that's it. Listen, hey, let's give it up to Kitty because Kitty's going to take us on a ride. Let's go, Kitty! What? You still here? Kitty didn't come through? Where's Kitty at? Kitty! Hello, Kitty. Where you at?
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda. İşler